The guard who answered the radio, Nevada, warehouse security. Unit 7, do you copy? The voice came through the radio suddenly, sharp and clear, breaking the silence of the warehouse. Ethan Cole froze in his chair. He looked down at the radio clipped to his vest. The small green light glowed steadily. No static. No warning tone. Just a voice. Unit 7, respond. Ethan swallowed. He was Unit 7. But no one was supposed to be calling him. It was 2:38 a.m. The Nevada desert outside the warehouse was completely dark. No nearby roads. No nearby buildings. Just miles of empty land and one massive distribution warehouse sitting alone under the stars. Ethan pressed the radio button. Dispatch, this is Unit 7. Who's calling? There was a pause. Then the voice answered. Finally. I've been trying to reach you. The voice sounded calm. Male. Familiar in a strange way. Like someone Ethan should recognize but didn't. Ethan frowned. Dispatch, I don't see your call on the log. You won't, the voice said. You're not looking in the right place. A chill ran up Ethan's spine. He glanced at the security monitors. All cameras showed the same thing they had all night. Long empty hallways, stacked shelves, loading bays with closed doors. Nothing moving. Nothing wrong. State your name, Ethan said, forcing his voice to stay steady. Another pause. Then the voice said, You already know where I am. The radio crackled. Backloading zone. The voice continued. I'll see. You need to check it. Ethan's heart started to pound. ILC was closed. It had been closed for months after a ceiling collapse. No guards were assigned there. No patrols. No power. You're mistaken, Ethan said. That area's restricted. The voice lowered. That's why no one hears me. Ethan stood up slowly. Every part of his training told him not to go. Unconfirmed radio traffic. No dispatcher ID. No camera alert. But the voice sounded patient. Like it had been waiting. I need you to come down here, it said. Before it happens again. Before what happens? Ethan asked. The radio went silent. Then, softly, before someone answers who shouldn't. The warehouse lights flickered. Ethan cursed under his breath and grabbed his flashlight. Dispatch, I'm moving to investigate an unconfirmed radio call. No response. He clipped the radio back to his vest and started walking. His footsteps echoed loudly as he moved through the long central aisle. The warehouse felt bigger at night. Emptier. The kind of empty that made sound feel wrong. Halfway there, the radio clicked on again. You're getting closer, the voice said. Ethan stopped walking. How do you know where I am? He asked. You always take the same route, the voice replied calmly. Ethan's mouth went dry. The lights above aisle C were off. Total darkness ahead. He swept his flashlight beam across the entrance. Yellow warning tape hung loose, fluttering slightly even though there was no wind. Hello? Ethan called. Security. The radio buzzed. I'm right here, the voice said. Ethan stepped forward. His flashlight caught something on the floor. Boot prints. Fresh ones. Leading into the dark. Dispatch, Ethan said urgently, pressing the button. I've got footprints in a restricted area. Please advise. The radio answered instantly. But it wasn't dispatch. You shouldn't have called them, the voice said, closer now. They can't hear us. Ethan spun around. Behind him, the warehouse aisle was empty. But his radio crackled again. And this time, the voice sounded like it was standing right next to him. You answered, it said softly. That means you're on my channel now. Ethan's flashlight flickered. And somewhere deep in the dark of aisle C, something began to move. Ethan backed away slowly, keeping the flashlight aimed at the mouth of aisle C. Who are you? He demanded, his voice shaking despite himself. Identify yourself now. The radio hissed with static, then cleared. I used to wear that same vest, the voice said. Same shift. Same route. Same radio. Ethan's heart slammed against his ribs. That's not possible. I would know. You wouldn't, the voice replied gently. Night guards don't leave much of a record. The flashlight beam caught the boot prints again. They were deeper now. Closer. As if someone had taken a step forward while Ethan stood still. Ethan turned and ran. He didn't sprint. Training told him not to panic. He moved fast but controlled, heading back toward the security office. The radio stayed silent, but the feeling of being followed pressed hard against his back. When he reached the office, he slammed the door shut and locked it. His hands shook as he pulled up the dispatch logs. No incoming calls. No radio traffic. Nothing. That's not funny, Ethan whispered, though he didn't know who he was talking to. The camera feeds flickered. One screen switched to aisle C. The camera there hadn't worked in months. Now it showed grainy black and white footage of the dark aisle. Dust floated through the air. Shelves stood crooked where the collapse had happened. Then a figure stepped into view. The figure wore a security uniform. Ethan leaned closer to the screen, dread creeping up his spine. The name patch was torn, but the badge number was clear. Unit 7. No, Ethan breathed. The radio clicked on by itself. I told you, the voice said calmly. You already know where I am. Ethan slammed the radio off and yanked the battery free. The voice continued anyway. Not from the radio. From behind him. You answered when you shouldn't have. Ethan turned slowly. The office door stood open. He was certain he had locked it. The lights dimmed, just slightly. Enough to notice. I didn't mean to, Ethan said. I didn't know. The voice sounded closer now. Sadder. That's how it always starts. Ethan grabbed the emergency phone and hit the button for local dispatch. It rang. Once. Twice. No answer. You can still walk away, the voice said. Just don't answer again. The security monitors changed. Now they showed older footage. Date stamps from years ago. Different guards. Same warehouse. Same aisle. Each clip ended the same way. A guard standing alone, radio to their mouth, answering a call that wasn't there. Ethan backed toward the door, heart racing. I'm quitting, he said out loud. Right now, the voice sighed. That's what I said too. The hallway lights outside the office flickered. Footsteps echoed softly, coming closer. Slow. Familiar. Ethan forced himself to move. He ran past the office, past the monitors, toward the exit. The night air hit his face like freedom as he burst outside. He didn't stop running until he reached his car. He drove away from the warehouse without looking back. By morning, he had resigned. The company blamed radio interference. Faulty equipment. Bad wiring. The warehouse stayed open. Months later, a new guard was assigned the night shift. At 2:38 a.m., their radio crackled to life. Unit 7, do you copy? And somewhere out in the Nevada desert, another voice waited patiently for an answer.